beautiful break in the weather. It's almost, it's going on 28 degrees in the shop. I'm amped. Here's our board. We're gonna do a test fit, and sun's glaring. All this metal is just flopping around. Kept me up at night. But all these panels should line up with the roofs all in. So let's see how it fits. Alrighty. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, that's nice. All their holes line up. That bracket. Look at that. This guy's right on target. This little notch. Oh man, gotta love that. Tap it down in some more, but this lines up really nice. All this draws tight. Got our glove box. I still have to drill the two little holes. A little screw goes there, and a little wood screw goes down there for the glove box. There's one on either side. And this bracket lines up real nice. And all this pulls tight. And I have a little bit to trim off on the bottom, and I left it a little long on the top. That's nothing, but we're looking good. Very happy. Yeah, that lines up really good. Okay, no hoochie dog. So it was so cold in here last night, my telephone holder just shattered out of the blue, because it's like spring loaded and holds the phone. I glued it back together and there's pieces missing. It's just kind of funny how cold it was. Yeah, I just make these videos with my telephone. I don't have anything fancy, but anyhow, that's how cold it was out here last night. It just out of the blue, nothing touching it, up on a microphone stand, and snapped. So on a personal note, you know, taking this thing apart, you know, one thing leads to another, and it seems overwhelming. But, you know, you pick one little, like the backboard had to be replaced, then the stringers on the side, and then you notice these posts are cracked and burnt and need replaced, and then the floor, and you know, one part at a time. I don't do this. I build guitars, but I'm sure there's a lot of support on YouTube or forums or whatnot. I don't want to be clouded. If I get in a corner, you know, I'm literally so excited about this project, I jump out of bed. I've been out here in my pajamas, believe it or not, but I don't want to get my head clouded with other people's opinions when I could see for myself. You could take any little part, this little seat support, and there's a little hook that must hold the seat, and you know, even though it wasn't. And so we're going to make that function again to hold the seat, because that's how, even if that isn't original, that's what was in here. And I believe most of this is original. And like if I replace whatever reason, the little glove boxes have that wood with, looks like canvas or rubber, I'm going to try to replace that, because they had a reason for it. These were really utilitarian. Everything has a purpose. And but the floor has obvious issues, so I might embrace that project real quick. Like this, like this post, you know, I made this new post, and you go down here, and There's a bolt right there, just flapping in the wind. That, you know, the board was rotted, so that bolt's just sitting there. And look at all that rust. So I'm gonna have to embrace that and deal with that while we're here. I think would be the good thing to do. So I might get a little sidetracked on the videos, but we're redoing the roof. That's what everything holds together. Everything plays off one another on this thing. I've learned with old antique engines I worked on, this is your friend. This is just simply transmission fluid and mineral spirits. And there's a bunch of different, you know, I just had mineral spirits on hand, anything to thin it down. Burnt transmission fluid, used stuff, is even better. But this stuff, it just finds its way, it seeps in, and keeps you from shearing a lot of bolts off. It allows you to take them out. Just my opinion, though. And this is another love affair of mine. This old girl. This gigantic engine. You know, this thing, we thought it was a solid ball of rust, and I started just painting it with transmission fluid, and it's dusty right now because it's out here in the workshop. You can see the dust on everything. But this beautiful dark green came out when I started torching, just, you know, giving a little heat, warming up the surface and torching in transmission fluid. And this beautiful paint popped out. After this bugger, got our hardware installed, mildly cleaned up, and light brush with some trans fluid, the original plate. I'm even going to try to use original little nails. If I could straighten them out, get them back in, why not? You know, and I don't mind. I love seeing the original square cut nuts like that. It don't bother me. I mean, I think I paid 20 bucks, 15 bucks for this set at a flea market because the lid was missing. I don't care. I'm not collecting this. I use it. So anyways, I like the original stuff, but I'm gonna just give it a once over with some teak oil. It'll soak down in, and I'll thin it with a little bit of mineral spirits, and it'll get a final finish later. But anyhow, that's where I'm at. Just give it a once over with what do we got there? 220. Just to take, so now the kids, anybody touching it gets any splinters. You know, the original is real crisp, and look at how rough it's on. Rustic. And I actually left a couple, you won't hardly see that, I'll know it's there, little mill marks, part of its story, you know, being an old barn wood. But just give this a quick little dusting off, and there's our holes. That one only goes partial through for that. Well, this bolt threads into that plate, and it doesn't go all the way through. So I just copied what the original was. Okay, I just had this on hand. Simple teak oil. And do not use if invasion from a foreign country and below the temperature of, you know, I don't care. It's cold out. This stuff doesn't really harden. It's just like a moisturizing treatment. And I'm gonna, yeah, see, it's pretty thin, but I'm even gonna thin it down more. I like to thin down, even though like oil polyurethane's really cool. I used to hate it. It was like just gooped on plastic, but I cut it sometimes 2 parts mineral spirits. Eyeball it, you know, it's not rocket science. Cut it more than half and it soaks into the wood and it still feels like wood. And if you want to go further, you could give it another coat. If you like it how it is, you can stop there, but yeah. All right. Okay, let's see how, I'm curious how some of this grain's gonna come out. Let's see what happens. I like wood, you know, things you didn't plan on that just happens. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a nice, it's a pleasant green. I have a nice warm glow to it. This beautiful old wood. So happy to have this. All right. Okay. I want to go in different directions, make sure it gets down in those holes. We're just kind of treating the wood, keeping it moist. And yeah, I look like a slop artist, just slathering it around. You wipe the excess up with a cloth. And this isn't like a rock hard permanent. This isn't the final finish. I'll put something else over it. But see all these beautiful cracks, you know? Get that stuff down in there, keep it moist, and you know, that looks like the board's all cracked up, but it isn't. I mean, it's tight. It's a rock solid piece, and I feel really good about getting all down in there. So I'm just gonna wipe the excess up. And there we have it. We've got something on it. You know, this is gonna be covered with sheet metal, the side of the truck, and all this is gonna be covered. So I want to get something on it now, and then these edges will all get a final finish after it's installed, like a more permanent. But there we go. And the originals didn't want to go into this hard oak so well. So I'll put some nice little brass ones in. Really wanted to reuse those, but oh well. So I flipped this nut around, started undoing it, and that wet this transmission fluid again. And when I took that cover off, old dry rotted rubber grommets there, this bugger was green. Would have been green probably with black fenders. And I guess the first year of Model A is 1928. They were all green at first. Pretty freaking cool. These are actually coming out like butter. I mean, they look all rusty and crusty, and they're rusty, but I think the wood helped protect them. Historically, that's why machinists use wood toolboxes. It isn't because they were cool, or like even this, you know, I don't have no idea how old that socket set is now. That original black paint, it's in a wood box. There's another machinist trick. People would put a piece of copper in their box that would take on, rumored to take on some of the corrosion, but pretty cool. Here's an example. I believe this is all original. These washers are almost like just press fit in like machinery, but the wood part against the wood, look at that, it still has the bluing on it. Might be something to that wood theory of protecting metal. Okay, game changer. The floor is obvious, but the seat bracket, it was just hanging on by a thread. Oh man. Well, there's a bunch of good to that. I could secure our risers, our post door jams to that, because some of this stuff is hard to get to. But man, I'm gonna take this bugger out of here. And that looks, it's only on one side, like it could be a bracket for the hand crank, the starter. This is all rotten out. There might have been another bracket it laid into. I don't know. Anybody knows about that, let me know. I have the hand crank, but I wonder if you'd lift the seat up and grab it out, if that's where it went. I don't know. Let me know if anybody knows that. Well, I get that beast out. Things are getting real. But one little rivet what's left of that metal, that's all that was holding this whole thing in. And I'm gonna have to take these out, 2 on either side, and replace them, put that all back in. But the upside is I gotta get to the floor and redo that floor. And there we have the floor. Oh man, I'm gonna be so glad I took that out. I have some stainless I might put down, but I'm gonna put wood in. I'll just insulate it, clean that against the chicken coop for a minute. That's all that's left of it. There's a brick and a fire hydrant to gauge the size there, but that bugger is gone. And the good thing is I could clean all this up, rust proof it, and that's the brake, mechanical brake lever there. Kind of interesting. And if it's wood, I could pull it up and access that and grease that from the top. That's coming off the transmission, the drive shaft. It's like a support across the frame there. Anyways, and there's the keep the Y that cut, those arms go off to the rear end to keep them in line. Those heavy steel guys. Oh, look at that. I get my phone right down in there, or my head can't go. So I could access those, keep them greased up from the top. Just pull the seat up, lift the floor up. I like that idea. Doubt that's original, but that's the wooden floor it was in there anyway. I'm gonna make a similar thing for here that fastens down somehow. Well, the seat bracket will fasten down. That floor could lay down in there. We'll get it to seal up. Just keep the outside noise down instead of having tin, just thin tin back in there. Cozy it up. All right. So I got that back support out, and that's a good thing. What I thought was intact, it's actually all rotted down here. So we're gonna make new ones. And put those seat brackets back in. Of course, they're riveted. Weird. But replace all that sheet metal. And I put that back on to protect the getting debris all over the battery. Well, looks like some new sheet metal for this old girl. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, that bolt and that block of wood, that holds the whole chassis on. Look at this thing. I just lift the whole thing off. And oh, might have to make a new chassis block. It'll help the doors line up. Oh boy. Yep, it's a mess. Holy cow, look at that. Don't even have a mounting. This bolt holds the cab on. Look at this thing. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just flapping around. I'm gonna hammer out some fabricate, some nice medium heavy steel, replace all this. I've done worse. But that block of wood over there, this one's complete. Oh boy. Archaeologist up in here. But I think I found a grease fitting and some bright green paint. Man, it just piles of crud coming up here. Anyways, this is good to be able to get to all this. Okay, got her all vacuumed up, right down to the frame rails, and look at that bare wire. That's that green, that's the copper. That's going to the taillight. These only had one taillight, and I'm surprised there's usually it's ground to the frame, and usually one wire. I don't know, but that's the upside of all that grease. It's like new, still dirty, but like new under there. That green paint, it might be an inspection splotch or something, I don't know. But yeah, and replace all that metal. I'm gonna make, similar to that, I'm gonna make a wood insert. Okay, I got a new block in there. It took me 7 tries. I snuck up on what I thought the height would be, because like this one's wedge shaped, so I did that one kind of similar. This is the original one that was on there. Like, what's with all the extra, like we might put a hole there, might put a, it's kind of crazy. And there's wormwood holes all through it, which is pretty kooky, but this thing was just rattling in there, so that's nice and solid. And this one will go on the other side. But the cool thing is, this is really cool, and I put the cross braces in because I didn't want to worry about the metal stressing, but that's a whole lot better. I mean, this door was like down, it was almost that far down, and that is a whole lot better. I could even get it better than that with that son of a gun. Really cool. And another cool thing about having the floor wood, nice thick wood, it'll keep a lot of the noise out, but I could lift it up and access stuff like this, like the grease fittings, and retorque that if the wood ever shrinks. It's just a cool idea. But all right, so get that side in. Got a little off topic from the roof. So I'm some hardcore oak and addressing the issues with the floor. I'm gonna leave this somewhat rough, showing the mill marks. It's kind of fun. It's gonna be under the seat anyway, but some beautiful old boards I've had stashed for a while. Also, I don't know if you saw the upholstery video, but I have about, I don't know, 20, 25, 30 feet of this wind lace I made. Nice cotton rope with artist canvas. Nice, like a 14 weight. But I'll go around the floor with it, make a nice seal. Anyhow, there you have it.